Well, on this beautiful sunny morning here in Winnipeg, I want to see if maybe we can't get the paint off of these little parts here. I don't think there's going to be a problem. Use the Windex first, and then we'll use the ultrasonic cleaner. Now, whenever I use a piece of blue tack like this to pick something up, I'm always kind of feeling well, am I getting residue on the part? Now, it seems to me that I did look, go back a couple of years ago now, I think it was. I wanted to check and see under the microscope. And I do believe that I concluded that yes, there was a little bit of residue from the blue tack where it touched the the photo etch. I have a real big hard time talking and working at the same time, don't I? Okay, now I may as well do this piece, even though I think there's very little on there. May as well get it pristine here. All right, let's get our Windex going. Now I find that this Windex works really well on Tamiya XF paints. It just dissolves it. There, you can see it coming off the railing there. Yeah, look at that. We'll just let it soak for a few seconds, and then I'll maybe agitate it with a brush. I don't think Mr. T will mind if I use his poking device here. Now, I know that the ultrasonic cleaner would also get this. Whoops, I bent it. Oh, Ron. Well, I hope I bent it at the right place. Okay. I know that the ultrasonic cleaner would also get it off, but I don't want to contaminate that solution because it's kind of expensive, whereas Windex, at least here in Winnipeg, is really cheap. I think it's around $4 a liter, or was that a 2-liter bottle I bought? Now I'm curious. So let me check here. Now, where is it? While I'm trying to remember where did I put my Windex here, it might be a good time to mention that what I did was I overexposed the dish by an entire stop for you camera buffs. And the idea being is to sort of offset the fact that there's so much white background. I had hoped that we'd be able to see the gray color of the railings and so on. Otherwise, they just look black. Yeah, it was a two liters, and if I remember right, it was $4 or $5. Can't beat that. Okay. I think we've done enough damage here. Let's move everything to the ultrasonic cleaner. Now, I just got curious here, and I checked to see what was the price. Well, it turns out it was more expensive than I remembered. You know, like the song goes, the old gray matter ain't what it used to be. Okay, we have rinsed everything off with clean water here. And the big one. Now, I think it might be a good idea if I was to agitate these. These triangular ones are a little bit hard to pick up. And the last one, I think. Yep. Okay, maybe we're overdoing it here, but I think if we rinse this off with isopropyl, we'll get the residue of the Iwata airbrush cleaner off. At least it'll help. I can always pour this back. I haven't lost it. Does it look like we're missing anything? I don't think so. I don't think the ultrasonic cleaner ate any of those little pieces. Now, I have been wearing Uncle Frank's watch pretty much all day. It's just after 2 o'clock already. And the Fixoflex bracelet, or whatever you call this, is a little bit on the tight side. So it's not really too comfortable, but I've just sort of been wearing it, sort of from nostalgia's sake. Uncle Frank, he had a very sad life. I went into detail in the episode, or in the video that was called Uncle Frank's Watch. At least I think that's what it was called. And I talked a little bit about Uncle Frank, but anyway. Yeah, poor Uncle Frank, he had epilepsy. And the drugs that they gave him way back, going on 100 years ago now, they weren't, what they are today. And he ended up being what you would call mentally challenged. And, excuse me, and consequently, once he got to the place where, Grandma could not look after him anymore, Uncle Frank had to go into a home. And that's where he spent probably the last 2/3 of his life. And of course, when he died, my dad was his only living relative at the time. And Dad ended up with all Uncle Frank's meager belongings, but one of the things was this watch. And I think that's probably what Uncle Frank and I had a little bit in common, was watches. He used to have watches. This was just one of several. And anyway, so sort of reminiscing here. Now, today's episode, folks, is obviously going to be pretty short. I'm sure you can hear the music playing. They can't all be good. They can't all be long. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to try and paint these. I want to see if I can't stand these railings up on edge somehow, maybe. I don't want to be laying them down on anything sticky, because the residue of the sticky tape is going to stick to the part, and then we're sort of back to where we were. And right now, everything, as you might say, as pristine as possible for painting. Now, one of the viewers did mention using an etching type primer, on this sort of stuff. And that's a good idea. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not, but we'll see. I'm still thinking about it. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.